Well, okay, it's a brand new day and I got the car all buttoned up underneath. So now all I gotta do is fill it with fluid, make sure it still works, and then move on to other stuff, which there are many other things to do. So yeah, let's find out how I did. Oh, don't spill it everywhere, Cole. Now let's start it up. I'm not nervous at all. Okay, so the car still did go forward and backward, but problems started to arise whenever I took this thing out for a test drive. Still having transmission issues. I think I made a mistake and I put the wrong transmission fluid in it. The fluid that I used is approved for Chrysler transmissions, but it's really meant for the newer ones, ATF plus 4. And I did some digging and it turns out that it's not very good for these older transmissions, which prefer Dexron, which is actually GM, but supposedly that's what this wants, especially according to the owner's manual, which I had in the glove box, which helpfully states that it prefers Dexron. It was running fine when it was cold, but then as soon as it would get hot, the transmission would just drag and it wouldn't shift out of first gear. Same thing that was happening before when it had low fluid. So what I'm thinking is the fluid is too thin and slippery, and it's losing hydraulic fluid pressure whenever it gets hot. So what I'm gonna try instead is I drained out about 5-6 quarts of the fluid that I put in there. I'm gonna put new fluid in that should work for this car. And then in addition, I'm also flushing out the radiator. A bunch of brown rust-colored gunk came out of the cooling system. And this is after 5 or 6 flushes and it still looks like that. So I'm gonna put some fresh coolant in there, which I needed to do anyway, but I think the fluid is getting a little too hot and maybe it's also a little too thin in the transmission, and that's what's happening there. That's the theory anyway, but I'm gonna test it out. On the bright side, the transmission does not leak at all anymore, so I solved that issue. Good news, just got back from the test drive, got it nice and hot driving around, and it did in fact improve. So it's not 100% yet because I only replaced about half the fluid, but it did act about 50% better. So that indicates that that is for sure my problem. So tomorrow I'm going to do another fluid flush on it, and then that'll equate to maybe 80-90% Dexron instead of the ATF4.